Hey everyone, let's unbox and take a look at the Trotting Lantern by LEGO. This is set number 80116, contains 1,295 pieces, and this set was provided by the LEGO Group for early reviews, so thank you, LEGO. And this is the Spring Festival series. And it doesn't look too bad. We also get a light brick included, and I wonder how much of this is going to lighten up, but it looks interesting. It's not really something I'm interested in, but we haven't built it yet. And this is what it looks like on the back of the box. And we even do have some minifigures that are included. Looks like there might be 5 in total. Alright, let's unbox this beast and see what's inside. I'm kind of curious. We already know it's Lego, but I want to kind of see how it's packed. That one's always stubborn to open up because I'm on this side of the workbench. Okay, I'm going to save this as a little holding tray. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the lid down here. Well, we obviously know there's at least 4 bags, or at most 4 bags, you know. Alright. You know what might be better? Let's pull all this out of here and stick them in like that. It'd be a little easier, like I've been doing. Alright. Well, we know there's at least 9 bags, or at most 9 bags. I'm down to 6. That's cool. The most important one is right there. Yeah, with them being paper bags, it's easier because they don't slide around. And then we have 8. So there's 9 bags. I'll save the method for dividing this up on my second channel. And then we have the paper folder with the building guide. So we'll open that up and see what we got in there. I'm hoping this one is not caked with stickers. Oh, okay, so it looks like we have several building guides. I'm hoping this could be a group build. It'd be really cool. We're always looking for those. And if that's all the stickers that's with this, that's not bad at all. That's pretty good, actually. So it's hard to say. Maybe it might be a group build. I don't know. And looks like bags 1 through 4 in building guide number 1, and bags 5 through 9 are in this building guide. Okay, so I'm going to discuss how I'm going to break this up on my second channel. I'm going to build it, come back, and we'll take a closer look. Here is the Trotting Lantern all assembled, and honestly it's a very unique, interesting build. Well, let's take a quick 360 spin tour, but before we do, there's a button on top you can press down, and a little hologram will project through the smoked glass. So I can just spin this around. This thing here will rotate, and I'm just holding the button down. As you can see, it's just floating around here. It's pretty bright for what it is, and let me douse the light here. And as you can see, it's not too bad. So you can just rotate this thing and just push it down. It's really cool. Now, in addition to that, this is also a playable model. These do open up right here. I'm going to open up this one first, because that's where all the minifigures are stored. And you got all these little balloons and chains hanging off of it. And don't worry, we'll dive right on in there and take a closer look. Now this top piece does remove, but be very careful. I would scoop up from the sides. Don't pick it up from these corner pieces. It'll fall right apart. And this does come off here. And we'll set that off to the side to see more stuff inside there. You got 5 minifigures in total, which is real cool, and some various builds inside. Well, we're going to take a closer look. Let's start with this gentleman right here. Looks like he's got some chopsticks in a bowl. Looks like this is a noodle bar. Those pieces that she's holding are pretty new. I've never seen those before. Got this gentleman hiding back here. Sadly, that's a sticker. There's some stickers, but not a whole lot, as you saw with the unboxing. We got the dragon guy. Looks like we got some kind of a puppet stand there. And some kind of lantern thing. I'm not sure what that is. It may want to help me out. That I'd appreciate it. And this young lady right here with a ticket. And that is printed. And here's a little bit more of a close-up of that hologram. Hard to tell with the extra lights on, but you do get two of these little window pieces here. So the light brick shines through this, and this projects it onto the smoked glass. You have two that you can switch out. In order to switch that out, you have to take this thing pretty much apart to do it. There's an access panel in the back. And taking all this off is very risky. Taking off the top is also very risky. Everything's just barely tacked in. So this does fold right back up. It looks playable, but be very careful. And this goes on top. This is also very risky to put on too. So you just got to make sure it's centered up right. And don't pick it from the corners. It'll fall right apart. Put that back on top. Yes, these little chains that are dangling. There's just so much. And here's the feet that this thing's standing on. It's not holding on its own weight, though. There's actually a little tire under there, a little wheel that's holding that together. That's just more of a center support. And this right here is how you would change it. Let's see, this just pops out. And then you would just take this, we'll rotate this around here. And there you go. And then you can just take this out right here. And put this one in here. So at least there's an access panel in here. And then you just pop that back in. Like that. Well, maybe not. Hey, I gotta love my unscripted reviews. Okay, they're supposed to sit on top of that blue plate there. And yeah, and then we can push this down. We got a whole new hologram there. See if I can get really close. Or better yet, where's the power switch to the light here? Let's turn that off real quick. Let's see if we can see what that one looks like. Pretty cool. So that's how that works. So let's pop that out again. I'll show you. And it just shines right through that window piece. That's a pretty good little projector idea. I can see that being used for other builds. And for the most part, you're getting a lot of detail for this build. Look at all the warm gold, red, bluish green, and flame yellowish orange. Lots of things going on here. And sometimes this doesn't close all the way. Just be careful with your figures inside. Now, I haven't had anything fall in there yet, but you wouldn't want anything to fall in there. Always start with this one first. It should be fine, but they always bump into these. Well, here are my thoughts. Let's begin with build quality for the Trotting Lantern, and I'm going to say it's an average build. At the beginning, it started off really strong and robust, but once you get to the top here, be very careful. A lot of this stuff, like these dangly chains and balloons, this stuff will detach if you're putting these on here. These corners here will just easily fall off. So be very careful. But the top does remove, so if you remove it, just pick it up from the sides right here. You should be very fine, but set it down very gently. And in addition, this piece here separates. It's strong like this, but this is just meant to be a display piece. So as far as for play value, it's playable. I mean, this does open up as you saw, but as you can see, some things, if you don't open it up right, will fall out. Like this gentleman here, I've had him fall out several times while setting up the thing. You just got to be very careful how you close it and stuff like that. So, is it playable? Not really. This is just meant to be admired. The only thing you really play with is the little hologram in the windows. But other than that, it's not a whole lot of play value. Now, could you drop this in a Lego city? You probably could. It is minifigure scaled, so this could sit in your town square. If you're into the, like if you're making a Chinese style display, this would work. Just fill this in down here. And you can make this part of a city. So it is possible, and as you can see, it's complete all around. So it's city worthy. It would fit into a Lego city. As far as for spare pieces, this set does have a lot of parts that you could use for other creations, or you could probably take this apart and make something else out of it. We have the smoked window, so obviously you could make some pretty interesting builds out of it, or even a Chinese food restaurant would be kind of cool with this. There's a lot of detail packed in here. Now, my build experience, on the other hand, was pretty good. Now, I'm not interested in this build. When I saw it on the box, I thought, yeah, I don't know, it doesn't look too exciting. But the build experience is pretty good. This set here has a lot of good building techniques used throughout the build. So for me, you're going to get a good build experience out of this. Now, sadly, this is really meant to be built by one person. It looks like things can be separate, but it's not. Now, this is built here as one piece. This is another piece, and this piece just sits on top. The way it's built, the manual's laid out, it just doesn't look like it's a collaborative build. But with some careful planning, I'm sure you can probably make this one piece. This is another piece. The legs are a piece. Maybe up to 1 to 4 people could build this, but I'd say one comfortably. You just have to really read the building guide and figure out how you want to divide this one up. But it's just meant to be a solo build. And as you can tell, it's got a lot of nice bright colors used. We have red, flame yellowish orange, warm gold, bluish green, and earth blue. Lots of bright colors in here. This looks really cool. Now, I could see this being displayed like on an end table or something. So this would just be something you could possibly modify with a very low wattage bulb and make this light up. Just continuously light up would look really cool. I could see this being like a bedside lamp or something. But it looks pretty good. So if you wanted to modify it for that, you most likely could. So my final score is going to be an 8 out of 10 on this model, mainly due to build quality, because like I'd mentioned, these corner pieces come off. These will detach from time to time. And you got to be careful on how you pick up this model. You have to scoop it from the bottom. You pick it up from here, this thing is going to come crashing apart, so be very careful with it. Other than that, though, I'm pretty satisfied with this set. It is a playable model, but it's just meant to be a shelf queen, nothing more. But like I had mentioned, you could put this in a city. So tell me what you think of the Trotting Lantern.